Hello everybody, Vader's Vault here, showing off a little something that we have for our Starkiller family peeps. For those of you on the second run of the Vader's Vault Starkiller, you've seen that we were kind of trying to decide which LED to use and trying to finalize a few things before we begin installs. After several different configurations and testing, we've decided to go with the Tri-Rebel Red, Green, Royal Blue. And to do all the testing, we actually have a version 1 Starkiller that we retrofit with the crystal focus and the color mixing color extender daughter board into it. This saber is owned currently by Eye of the Raven. This was my personal Starkiller. It is the XX prototype, affectionately known by me as the Equis. And we needed to go to Celebration last year, and this was sort of sitting in my drawer. And I'm going to take one from the second run, so we decided to let this one go. It is a little bit different in dimension than the actual run saber, so it is special in that regard. But we decided that it would be cool to try to retrofit a CF6 and color extender with the newer LED. So it did require some machining under the shroud to fit the extra wiring and alterations to the chassis. But we got it in there, and it's very, very cool. And we can't wait for you guys to start getting your sabers. But we wanted to go through and show you what you can expect from the Starkiller with the Crystal Focus version 6 with color extender, and sort of go through RICE and show how easy it is to use RICE to play with your Starkiller. And so we're just going to go through a few things there. There are a lot of misconceptions about Crystal Focus and how hard it is to edit your parameters, because there's so much that you can change on the Crystal Focus. We've never really found it to be hard once you learn what everything does. I mean, it's a pretty extensive manual that's very easy to read. But with the advent of RICE and the fact that it is a real-time editor, there is nothing simpler. I mean, RICE allows you to connect to the saber and real-time see any changes or hear any changes that you make instantly. And then when you decide that that's what you like, you hit save and boom, done. There's no having to take the SD card out, move it into your computer and edit it that way. I do know that there are other editing programs for other soundboards out there, but nothing as easy to use and that's real time like the RICE program. So we're going to go through a couple of different sound fonts to show you how you can edit your color or edit your flash color, and show you basically how fun it is and what you can expect when you get your Starkiller. If you are not in on the Starkiller run, fear not, as there will be other chances to get a Vader's Vault version 2 Starkiller, as we will probably have, depending on if everything goes well with the installs, we will probably have one or two up for auction after everybody else gets theirs. So let's get started. We might as well show you what we got. Let me turn off the light here and put the blade in. I'm going to try to go back and forth between showing you what's going on the computer screen and what's going on in the saber, and go back and forth, so just bear with me here. It's hard to give the camera lady cues in the dark, but we'll try it. The first font is the TFU Starkiller font, and it is set to Impression Stopping Purplicious Purple, a nice deep shade of purple with a whitish clash. Now, the cool thing about the Starkiller is, of course, that it's got the exposed crystal chamber. Well, we have tied the crystal chamber via an RGB 5mm accent LED in the crystal to the main blade controls from the color extender board. And so the crystal will actually very closely match or mimic the main blade during regular blade functions, pulse and flicker and all that, but also in the flash. So the flash dye, whatever is mixed in with the main blade, will also mix in with the crystal blade to give you an approximation. On all the fonts, is it perfect match? No, because It's a different type of LED, different power, different binning, all that kind of stuff, but it is close enough that the eye will approximate the two colors and you won't get, you know, too much of a discrepancy. Alright, let's look at the computer here. I can show you. We got a nice deep shade of purple here, but what if we want a little bit more magenta or more violet color? Well, you just go up here and on the current one, which is the red, because this is an RGB setup, it's set at 400 right now, but we're just going to move that up just a bit. And as we're moving it up here, we got a little bit more violet color. I don't know how well it's coming off on camera, but we're at 592 mA. Let's go a little higher. And that's a pretty good magenta blade. And that's at 975 mA. It's a little high on the red, so we're going to back that back down. Now, say you don't like what you got, you don't have to save it, you can move on to the next font. But say you did get something you really liked, you just go over here to where it says Save on Soundboard. Click, and it will save the font. This is right here. It'll save the changes you made on the font. The saber will power down and reboot. And then it'll give you a confirmation beep. But let's just pretend that we got what we wanted here. And we're going to save. And you hear a confirmation beep and the reboot sound. And then you can turn it back on and view your work. Now, these changes are very easy. You will notice that it is done in milliamps. That's because it's a very high resolution for mixing. A lot of people are wondering why it uses that. Well, it's more accurate. You get, you know, if an LED is capable of going up to 1500 mA for a die, well, you've got 1500 points of resolution to work with, rather than just the spectral scale that is used on other soundboards, which is a 255 scale. So it's a much higher resolution. You get a much more accurate. Thanks, Norton. You get a much more accurate color mix, and it allows the board to maintain that accuracy over the effects like the pulse and the flicker, which is very hard to do, but of course with Plecter Labs and the crystal focus handles all that elegantly. But as you can see here, you have your shimmer adjustments, duration, period, you know, the randomness or the depth, the flicker, speed, and depth. You can change all that and see it real time. So if you want to change the pulse, you know, we've got the duration here, and then we got the depth. And we can change that. And that's very slow pulse, but if we want to quicken that up, now you can see it dimming. We can quicken it up even more. Now it's a faster pulse. I'm not real big on that, it's a little fast for me. So I'm going to slow that down a little bit. There we go, that's more of like a heartbeat or breathing type pulse. That's a very cool pulse. But see how easy that is? There's no guesswork involved in the numbers. It's a slider bar, you're watching it real time, you're good to go. Let's try a different sound font.
Accessing Imperial Records. TFU Starkiller. Episode 5 remastered. Episode 2. Rise, my apprentice.
And here we got a green, nice beautiful green. This is the reason really why we chose the Tri-Rebel. Is because the individual dye colors are just a little bit brighter than the Tri-Cree, especially in the green. Plus you get that beautiful Luxion green, which is that nice emerald green that a lot of people like, and it is a significantly brighter green. So we did pick it because of that reason, because there are people who like to have the solid color or the you know, traditional primary color blades, the red, green, blue. So we figured out, you know, that we would just go that route. And this one has like a yellowish to amber clash, and of course crystal chamber also doubles that. But green is a very subjective color, but you know, some people like the more minty green or even a bluer green. If you wanted to add, you know, the blue into it, you could. So we've got right out there, add a little bit of blue. You can go anything from cyan or sky blue to add just a tiny bit of blue for that minty green, but you don't have to. And I'm not going to mess with that green on this one because it's just cool. I just wanted to show you guys how easy it is to mix a color. And the flash, if you want to stick with the amber flash, right now we've got the red at 540, the main dye at 793, and the blue dye at 357. But we can back that blue dye off. And it's a very amberish flash. If we back the red off just a tad, it gives more of a yellowish flash. It's kind of hard to see the subtle differences on camera, but they're there. And we like that. So what we're going to do, again, save on soundboard, confirmation beep, and the reboot. Everything else is on here, your motion detection, your general sensitivity, your clash detection, lockup activation delay, pretty much anything that you'd want to change or enable or disable is right here. And very easy to see, very easy to edit. This is a very, very awesome tool for as we get more complex with these soundboards, we're wanting more and more things on them, or just for the fact that soundboards are now delivering a more realistic experience. Not every saber is the same, and not every configuration is the same. So you want to be able to tailor that. And text files, as each feature gets more and more, they're going to get more complicated to edit by just randomly putting in a number or just trying to figure out a range of numbers. We kind of forget, because we've been doing this for several years, that we have certain parameters that we like and we know where we want things. But with the RICE app, it allows us to even play and get things exactly how we want it. So for the customers out there who have a crystal focus and the color extender, or even without the color extender, say you just want to have a crystal focus but have it be editable, the RICE program is extremely awesome. The Starkillers are going to be pretty much the similar setup to this. Let me get the light back on here so we can go over some things. You have your chassis here, and it's going to have a pull-out pigtail with the RICE port on the side, so you can just plug in your RICE cable that you can get at the custom saber shop. We recommend getting it from there because they're pretty consistent on the wiring. Some of them have a reversed RX and TX, so we just kind of want to be consistent. Plus, if you have a computer where it doesn't automatically recognize the cable, the driver link is directly on TCSS. You can click it, download the drivers, boom, you're good to go. So make sure that you get your RICE cable if you don't already have one from the custom saber shop. And thanks for Tim for carrying those for everybody to make it easy. And I'm really looking forward to start getting these in you guys' hands. I know you guys are very anxious to get them. It's been sort of a longer wait, but I believe it's worth it. Midway in the run, when we had figured out that Crystal Focus 6 was going to be out in time, we made a change midway. And actually, we had a stock of Crystal Focus 5s set up to go in this version. We actually sold through those and sold those off to our peers or friends and customers, and so that we could provide the V6 for you guys. So I know it's taken a little bit longer than we would like, but now we have the ultimate Starkiller. We have the best Starkiller there is on the market, and now it's got the best, top of the line soundboard and color changing system on the planet. So now you have your Starkiller that you can also have different colors on, just like in the game, and we can't wait for you guys to get them. If you guys have any questions on RICE, you can ask it on the forum, the Nerds section, the Plecter Labs section, and or you can contact us if you have any questions about how it's going to work relating to your Starkiller or whatnot. But thanks again from the vault, and keep an eye out for this, and have fun with your lightsabers.